Oh, you're gonna hate this next one.
I already hate it with past.
Detect magic is not allowed. You are not allowed to detect magic.
Just don't use magic in your story at all.
Yeah. Yeah, it just sounds like he just doesn't like magic.
Just everybody play fighters or monks, not the.
No, you're not allowed to use subclasses that have.
Yeah, no Eldritch Knight or any of that.
No feats with magic.
Yeah, restrict your feats.
And I get this because I know he's actually I keep saying he could be.
We'll just assume it's he. That makes things easy.
This ability will essentially also give because girls aren't this dumb. Usually. Anyway. This ability will essentially also give the party immunity to most forms of magical traps. Okay. There's more than magic traps. Do a friggin' gear system with spinning blades down a hallway that they've got to friggin' sprint at, whatever. Or the floor drop set, whatever. A character with this ability will see a magically trapped chest or door glowing faintly. Who cares? They chose that skill to... Some possible restrictions for this ability can be the ability only works via touch or the power only works when used under the light of the moon. Yeah, I get that, but like, if you got the spell detect magic because that's what works with your character, then
you're rolling to detect magic anyways.
Yeah, friggin' Arcana checks or investigation or...
You shouldn't be streamlining the player's characters if you're the DM.
Yeah.
The player's characters are going to be made to how they want to play their characters, so stop trying to streamline it for them. If they want to play and they want to be that person using detect magic, or they want to be a cleric that uses resurrection because maybe they were a battlefield medic and they need it. Okay?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to like restrict a backstory a player wants to play just based on making your DMing easier. Yeah. Yeah. Less complex.
Yeah,
it's like being on a railroad versus off-road in a car. You know what I mean? You're following a straight path because it's the easiest way to travel. It's so stupid.
Yeah, it is. The next one, the number 5 on the list, flying. So as Mars have wings, or cockroaches have wings.
Why does that matter?
Because maybe, okay, let me try and play devil's advocate. You have this whole war thing set up and then they just fly 100 miles in the air and they just cast spells from the... But even that, I can't even say that without vomiting archers or something. You know,
exactly.
Counterspell.
As a DM, all you have to do is create enemies in the time, because it is not hard. It is not hard to create enemies out of thin air. Speaking of teleportation, yes.
So, the last wonderful topic on this morons list.
Aneurysms.
Okay, first off, remember, we're talking about D&D 5e, not 3.5, definitely not 4. 5e.
4 was just too complicated.
The reason I specified this is because this topic is going to talk about something that we threw out the window like by our friggin' 5th session playing this game. Characters are not allowed to play outside of their alignment.
Why? Did you know that probably 85% of people that play D&D don't give a crap about their alignment for one?
We don't write it on the sheet. We don't use it on the sheet.
Nope.
What's the point? I mean...
What the point is?
You would want to keep your alignment surprised anyway, so let them be evil or something stupid.
Well,
it just makes things interesting.
Yeah.
As you progress through the session, you're supposed to change your alignment anyway. You shouldn't be strict to a code. If you see something that you think, well, maybe I should change my thought process, why would I still play in the alignment I'm in?
When you're writing a book, there's static characters and there's dynamic characters. The main characters are always dynamic characters, which means stuff affects them, and then they adapt accordingly, and they learn stuff, and they become freaking...
It sounds like he's writing a cartoon. There's no substance. It's literally a 2-dimensional game.
Yeah. And why alignment could be like a whole separate thing for us to talk about, but like, why just honestly, just don't use alignment. Just don't.
Yeah. I mean, if one of your players wants to use alignment, that's perfectly fine, but you shouldn't make them use it.
Yeah. Yes, you shouldn't. And even still, like, for that, that's kind of... Alignment always is like in the character process. It's like, okay, how is my character kind of lean?
Yeah.
But in reality, everyone chooses chaotic neutral usually because they don't know yet, because they haven't played their character. You know, like
exactly.
And it's usually more of a question: is do I want my character to be good or evil? And they're probably going to want to be able to have the option to steal stuff. I haven't decided yet because I don't know the morality. Except like if you're playing a paladin and you want to be like, yeah, you know, but like even if like you're playing a lawful good paladin, your law could be a set of morals that you subscribe, and your version of good could be different than a different player's version of good. You could have a player who's like evil character, but in reality they just have a different definition of good, because most villains think that they're right. So I mean, just alignment is just an excuse to either be a d-bag or to be and be lawful good and just be that guy towards everyone, or you can be chaotic neutral and just do whatever you want, or you can be chaotic evil and murder everyone and everyone hates you anyway. So just don't.
Honestly, this DM sounds like, because everything that he said previous has made his planning easier through his story. So by making the characters use their alignment, he can plan his story according to how their characters would have to act
And
in a certain situation.
And I get that he's making it easier. Like, that would make it easier. It's like, hey, you're playing, a soldier, and he's got a moral code, even though in his backstory he was exiled by his army. It doesn't matter. He's still got to follow that same moral code for the rest of his life.
Yeah,
because that's how life works.
He wants to be in control. He's playing chess, and he's trying to win.
Yeah, and that's if you're a DM and you're ever trying to win the game, stop. Get help.
You're not being a DM at all.
No.
If you're DMing and using the people that come here to play as NPCs, then you're not being a good GM. They're not even playing. They're just doing what you want them to do.
Yeah. We could end it on that. Let's end it on a happy note. Let's give them. Let's throw a bonus of like something that they should do, like something good.
Okay.
Maybe I don't know, happy, because this is so depressing.
And don't ever take abilities away from your players.
Yes.
If players want to add abilities to themselves, be open to it.
Yes, homebrew is a beautiful thing. The book is a template, not mandatory.
Stop playing it like it's a board game
Yes.
that has specific rules. It's not.
And sometimes it's awesome. Do a one shot where literally all homebrew is like allowed.
Mm-hmm.
Like he ran an amazing session where like we could do friggin' whatever.
Yes.
And that was great. Our one friend played a psycho that just ran around from Borderlands that just ran around yelling meat the whole time.
There was Vietnam era war equipment.
Yeah.
In that session.
And dragons.
And it was medieval.
Fighting, what was it? Ham-armed Argonians?
Argonians, yes.
Yeah, because I asked you, are they armed with hams or are their arms hams? I'm pretty sure you said both. Just freaking have fun. The game is to have fun. If you're ever within it, if you're ever the DM, first off, if you're the DM trying to beat the party, don't.
Yeah.
That's not the game. And if you're ever, granted, you might have that party, but it's really not the point of the game. It's a story, not
You're telling a story.
And on top of it, because the game, people that play the game still they said that the game's supposed to be Gary Gygax said it was supposed to be a template.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you're, and it sounds like he might not be comfortable playing with the party he's in. Right. If you don't want to DM for them, tell them. You know what I mean? If you still like D&D, somebody might want to offer up doing the DM.
Right. And it could also be a player. It is very clearly could also be a player who's just being a D-bag to everyone else and limiting their own.
If one player is being a problem, you need to let him know too.
Yeah. Your the DM should talk with that player. And if that doesn't work, like a couple of you should talk to that player. And if it still doesn't work, find a new player.
And if it doesn't work, homebrew your own enemies.
Yes!
Make them specifically target that player you don't like.
I don't know, maybe.
If he's not learning, I don't know.
In reality, you shouldn't as a DM metagame in the sense that you set up every encounter to perfectly combat all of your player skills. Yeah. Let them be creative with their skills, but also set up some encounters that do challenge those skills, or maybe have a stealth encounter, because then the barbarian's like, oh shoot, I can't just run in there and kill stuff, and if you do, it's going to go horribly wrong, and the rogue gets a chance to shine. You know, let their edgy backstory out. Or maybe there's you've got to go talk to this high saint priest person, dude, and the cleric's like, oh, well, and then the bard is like, oh no. Yeah. So
if you guys look up that list and you find it, it's not worth your reading.
No, it's not.
Anybody that has been an experienced DM will understand that list was made by somebody who doesn't actually like their party.
Or doesn't know how to play with, both.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. How do we want to... Just, play fair, play nice, have fun.